Hello again and welcome to a new episode of Greven och jag. Today I'm going to talk about happy horses. What is a happy horse? What makes a horse happy, and how do I know if my horse is happy? But first, as usual, I want to kindly ask you to subscribe, comment and like, because that would make me a very happy horse. Thank you. I suppose you can say this episode is about horse welfare, a topic that has been very much discussed the last few years, and rightfully so. I'm not gonna talk that much about all the recent scandals or abuse or neglect or such, because we all know that's wrong. No, I want to talk about us ordinary horse owners who really wants the best for our horses. I want Greven to live a healthy and happy life, and I want to train him with methods that are kind, and I want to use equipment he feels comfortable with. But am I doing it right, and how do I know if I'm not? Is it okay to use horses for riding, or is it abuse? I don't know. I don't think it's abuse, at least not if you're doing it right. But then again, what's right? Nowadays, a lot of people, at least here in Sweden, has moved away from the traditional ways of training and keeping horses, and in some cases claiming that the traditional methods are abuse. And in some aspects, I actually do agree with them. A lot of things I was taught as a child and a young rider, I wouldn't do to my horses today. I will never ever use those terrible draw reins again, for example. And I can still hear the riding instructor's voice ringing in my head, shouting, whip it, when a pony refused at the fence. And to be honest, I did the same thing some years later when I became a riding instructor, because that was what I was taught to do. So, a thing I would never ever do today. But back then everybody did it and it was considered normal. And that is what makes me think. If I thought I was doing the right thing back then, and later on discovered I didn't, and today I think I'm doing the right thing, but am I really? Again, I don't know. But I think it's a very, very important discussion to have. And I believe it's very important to think about, so that one can truly and honestly justify everything they do with a horse, to themselves and to others. So many things has changed in this sport since I started in 1974, and most of them for the better. Looser nosebands, horse dentists and saddle fitters, for instance. But just because things has improved doesn't mean they can't be even better yet. At least that's my opinion, and that's why I keep analyzing almost everything I do with Greven. For instance, I know my riding isn't perfect, but no creature on this earth can go through life without a bit of discomfort now and then. So I don't feel too bad about that, and of course I'm trying to improve. Had he at some point shown signs of not wanting me to ride him, for instance not wanting to go into the arena, not wanting to have the saddle on, or such, I would have given it second thoughts. And since he always does everything I'm asking him to, with his ears pointed forwards, it can't be that bad. At least that's my interpretation. I'm still riding with a whip from time to time, but I use it as a kind of a pointing stick and wouldn't dream of whipping him. I see myself as a soft and kind rider, even though I can be a bit unbalanced from time to time. I don't know if I'm fooling myself, believing that I'm doing the best for my horse. But one thing I can honestly say is that I'm really trying my best to. But then of course there's people who strongly believes we shouldn't be riding horses or keeping horses at all. And that's a way of thinking I just don't understand. What are we supposed to do with the horses then? Are we supposed to just set them free? Let them loose in some forests for them to fend for themselves? That is a really bad idea. A horse like Greven would die from starvation in a very short time. Are we supposed to put them to sleep? No, I don't think that's what that kind of people wants us to do. In my belief, the most horse-friendly thing to do is to never stop evolving and continue to think about new methods and new equipment that makes life better and easier for both the horse and the rider. Having said that, I don't think you should fall for every self-appointed expert on the internet either. If someone says that they are the only one doing things right and everyone else is doing it wrong, it might just be the other way around. Many of the horsey people I've met are either old school or new school, and I honestly think that's a bit stupid. I think that both sides, if you may, have a lot to learn from each other. Some of the new equipment and methods are better than the old ones, and of course vice versa. My conclusion is that us horsey people must try to be more humble. We need to be better at listening and learning and changing our old ways when we find out that they were wrong. We also need to be much better at listening at our horses. All of those horse welfare issues are very hard to grasp, and I don't believe I have a complete answer to any of them. And I also believe that all of us owe it to our horses to try to find the right answers. And to make myself clear, even though I myself focus on classic English dressage, I find nothing wrong with people who rides the horses bridleless or do all of the training from the ground and so on. But at the same time, I'm also convinced that you can do both show jumping, dressage or any other equestrian style without harming or discomfort any horse. I also realized that this topic might be too big for just one episode, so this is just a little scratch on the surface, as we would say in Swedish, I suppose. And I guess what I really wanted to say with this episode is that we all have to be more humble. None of us know everything. Doesn't matter if we've been riding for 45 years or if we've been trained in some new method or whatever. We don't know everything. We have to learn to listen and try to think for ourselves to every day do things better for our horses. And again, I'm not saying I'm doing everything right. I'm just saying that I'm trying. But well, this has to be it for today. It's time to go to the stable to take care of my precious Greven. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you would like to comment, subscribe and like, of course. And also to go back and see the earlier videos I made. This is the second in English and the other one's in Swedish. Thank you.